Welcome to the Travelman Podcast. This is a very special podcast. It's more like an update cast. I don't know who does update casts these days, but it will be a good one. I'll be talking about Airbnb. I'll be talking about my trip that's coming up in just a few days from when you're listening to it now. And I'll also be chatting about a little bit of news. So let's get on to it. Travellers, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. Today was a very nice day in Melbourne. About 22 degrees, warm, not that sunny. Probably like the weather in LA at the moment, quite nice. So I'll be going away for about 3 and a bit weeks to America, which I can't wait for. I'll be going to LA, where I'll be staying in Venice Beach for about 3 nights, and then on to downtown LA or DTLA. Hopefully going to stock up on some double burgers while in Southern California. Also can't wait to go back to places like Grand Central Market and so forth. And there's a bunch of stuff I'll be doing in LA, so I'm really excited. I'll even be catching up with Chris Rainey, my mate from Yellow Productions, for a day. We're going to have a bit of a drive around. And also going down to San Diego, where I'll be meeting up with Chris again for another little bit of a road trip, which I hope to, record those road trips just to see what we come up with, what we talk about, what we see, because I don't know. I've left it all up to Chris. He's our tour guide. So, yeah, let's see what happens. So, also thinking of maybe going back to La Jolla, which I used to call La Jolla for a long time. Was even thinking about crossing the border into Tijuana, I'm not sure. I don't know how to say it. And I can't wait to taste the best Mexican food in America, which I think is probably San Diego. So can't wait to do that. Can't wait to go back to the Crack Shack, San Diego. That's a great place for beers and burgers or chicken. I think it's chicken, actually. Probably not burgers, but also going to go to New York, going to spend a day in Brooklyn, going to MoMA, Guggenheim, the touristy type stuff. Go to the Whitney Museum, I've heard that's very good. Also planning to go to B&H Music Store to maybe buy another microphone, so I'll probably go there. Going down to Miami, going to hire a car for a few days. Planning actually on driving from Key West or to Key West from Miami. So I might get up at, say, 4 a.m. or something, or leave at 4 or 5 a.m. and get to Key West by about 8 a.m. Because I've heard it's about a 3-hour drive, but I think I'll be stopping on the way down. Take a few nice pictures and so forth. Have a bit of a swim. And then I'll try and also avoid... There's a museum in Key West that has a cursed doll, which is probably just not my thing because I don't really like cursed and don't really enjoy that type of stuff. So I'll be doing a few other things in Key West, though. So I'll be doing some good eating. Actually, Miami will be good eatings, like Cuban food, Creole cooking, I think. So I think there's even a place called Little Havana, which I'll go to. So I can't wait for that. And also going to drive to the Florida Everglades, where Mandy and I, my wife, will be going airboating. So we're going to try and airboat in the Florida Everglades. Hopefully we don't fall out of the boat, but I've heard that it's not really that deep. It's quite a shallow type of area, so maybe it's just deep enough for alligators, but these boats just slide or shimmer across the surface, so that'd be really fun. I can't wait for that. So while I'm away, as I said before, I'll be compiling interesting snippets of audio at select places, so places like the Florida Everglades or parts of the Key West Drive, maybe even inside, MoMA or Guggenheim or at the Grand Central Market, do a little bit of chatting. Hopefully no one thinks I'm a bit silly for chatting to myself, but Mandy will be there, so I'll ask her a few questions as well. So I'm going to put all those snippets together, either while I'm away or when I'm back here probably, and compile it into a podcast. Maybe it'll be a two-parter. I'm not really quite sure yet, so that would be really, really cool. So after I've done Miami, I'll be flying back to LA, where I'm sleeping the night and leaving that day, but I come home. This is a really interesting part. So I come home for a couple of days to do some washing, okay? So everyone needs to wash, and I've probably got enough clothes, fresh clothes, for about 2 weeks. Then I'll have to wash, and then 2 weeks, I'll have to wash, and then I'll keep the dirty clothes to one side. I'll be able to wear some fresh clothes for the last week while I'm in America. So come home, do washing, then I'm off to Bali. Going to spend some time in Ubud and also Nusa Dua with my family, with my brothers and a wife. Also going to answer the question which is on everybody's lips. Do you really need a holiday after a holiday? You know how people always say, oh, I'm so tired, I've just come back from a holiday. I just wish I had a couple more days or a week or so, and I'm going to answer that for you. I will let you know. Can you take a holiday after a holiday, and is it refreshing? So I will answer that question. So we're staying 3 nights in Ubud, I think it is, with my brother, Matt, and then we meet up with my other brother, Pat, who you've heard on the podcast, a Japan podcast that I did with him, and his lovely wife, Zoe. So Mandy and I will meet up with them, with Matt, in Nusa Dua for 7 nights after we've done Ubud. And then obviously we'll come home. So I think after 5 weeks, that would have been an amazing trip. We've got some friends looking after our house, which is really nice of them. So I really appreciate that, Sam and Dom. You're great people. Thank you very much, guys, for looking after our cat too. Our little cat Miu needs someone to look after her. She's so freaking cute. So that's the holiday part of this podcast. So I'm really excited. So yeah, probably by the time you're listening to this, if you listen to it when I post it, we'll only be a couple of days away from going to America. So yeah, fantastic. Now, I have an Airbnb update and annoyance type of little rant that I want to talk about. So if you remember in past podcasts, I've had a lot of issues with Airbnb. I don't mind Airbnb. They're very easy to use. I like staying in people's places. I like having the ability to cook. I like being able to, come home to a place and make it feel like it's mine. Okay, so I like Airbnb, but this is what frustrated me about Airbnb. Now, the first place we had booked it months in advance. We had that cancelled in about, maybe it was January. I think it was January. So the owner of the property had to quick sell the property, so they had to get rid of it. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking, if you had an inkling that you were going to probably sell, why do you list it? That's what I didn't understand. Unless someone died, which I'm really sorry about. If that happened, then I understand. But if they were always planning on maybe selling it, or they had any inkling that maybe they were going to get rid of it, I wouldn't have listed it on Airbnb. So for that inconvenience, we got $50 back because I asked the question. So always ask the question. So if you ever get a cancellation on Airbnb and you got a good reason for being upset, you might get a $50 voucher from Airbnb. So the second place that we tried to book, which was in the same suburb, west side of New York. What am I talking about? So the second place the lady had a book request, or request a book actually, which is really frustrating. So we got nowhere with her. We asked her, can we request a book? And she just said, pretty much, if you wait another week, the price might be a little bit cheaper than what it was now. I actually didn't really understand what she meant, so I didn't book it. For the third listing, the place was actually tenanted out. So we had put our dates in. We'd gotten pretty much the confirmation until the lady turned around and pretty much said that she had the place tenanted. So it was already rented or listed or rented for a certain amount of time. I think it was maybe a year or something like that. So it was actually unavailable to us to stay. So she was apologetic for still having it listed up on Airbnb. It was fine, no problems. She said she'd get it down ASAP. We did tell her to remove it so no one else would get frustrated. So at this point, my blood was boiling just a little bit, and it takes me so long to get upset. Like, you have to really push me, and then I'll get upset. So the fourth listing that we liked, it looked really good. We inputted our dates. Everything was fine until Airbnb came back and said it was a fake listing. So at this time, I was getting really, really, really pissed off. I didn't even realize that there are fake listings on Airbnb, but apparently there are. Now, the fifth listing was the last straw. Unfortunately for this guy, he got the brunt of my angriness. So he had this place also listed as a book to request, or request a book, sorry. I typed in the dates, and I would have to wait to see what happens. So I didn't really get what request a book means. Obviously, I understand what it means now. You have to request dates and they come back to you. I really hate that system. But anyway, so I waited maybe only a day and a half or 2 days for this man to get back to me. And he said, look, he's tried moving dates around and so forth, and he just couldn't help us out. So I got really upset at him and pretty much told him everything that I've told you guys, or you the solitary listener. I have to always remember that there's only one person listening, even though there's probably 100 or more. So anyway, so I pretty much told him that I was upset, and why list your place if the dates that the people are going to give you may possibly not suit you. Now, I understand you make a little bit of money on the side. If you request a book, you can kind of see, the date's all right. I can probably stay at a friend's house for a couple of weeks and make a little bit of money on the side. Fair enough if you want to do it that way. I just don't like that. Every time I get a cancellation on Airbnb, guess what? I have to spend up to 7 days to wait for my money to be returned onto my credit card. It's not good enough, Airbnb. It's ridiculous. So I think next time I might just go through a real estate agent or an estate agent and just see if I can get myself an apartment. So these people, obviously, just hosting their own places, they wouldn't have a clue. And it just really upset us. But anyway, we were lucky with our 6th attempt. That one went through fine. So far, we've had no cancellations, and I don't expect it a few days out from leaving. So that's fine. So we leave soon anyway, and I'll post this podcast a few days from now. So a few days from when we're leaving. And I'll be posting another podcast soon. So I think it's another maybe week and a half. So Sunday week, there'll be a podcast going up. And that will be a regular podcast. Actually, it has my dad in it again. It's really funny. I'm sure you'd love it. And then after that, I'm not sure. It might be 3, 4, 5 weeks before I post anything else because I have nothing else lined up. and I really would like to post a podcast on my trip. So that might be the thing that happens. I got a few people lined up for co-hosting duties with me to talk about their travel experiences, so that should be really fun, but that's when I'm back in Australia. Also, I was going to say there's a bit of travel news that was a little bit interesting, and it features a Qantas 787, and it was flying from London to Perth, and it took them about 15 and a half hours, which is incredibly fast. So the plane was traveling over, I think it was 1,100 and something kilometers an hour. I don't know what that is in miles an hour, but that is bloody fast. Considering planes don't go anywhere over 950k an hour, I don't think. So that was in a jet stream, apparently. The pilots found a jet stream, and obviously they had the wind pushing the plane, so that's why it got up to that speed. But apparently they wiped an hour off their flight, so that's pretty amazing stuff. Qantas are even thinking of a Perth to Paris flight, which would be good considering I'm half French, so I'd be really looking forward to that flight. Could fly Melbourne to Perth, take about 2.5, 3 hours, and then Perth to Paris, which would probably take, I would say, if London is 16 and a half, usually maybe it would be 16 or 15 and a half, which is, not too bad, because the Melbourne to LA leg is 14 and a half going there and about 15 and a half or so coming home. But I can do that pretty good in economy. You just got to sleep 6 to 7 hours of the flight, which is hard, but it's possible. And then the rest of it, you've got to stay up, watch a few movies, read a book, make the most of your time. But I think that's probably about it from me for today. So I hope you enjoyed that little podcast. Only 17 minutes 54. Oh my God, but that's okay. It's just an update anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you in about a week and a half with a podcast that I recorded with Dad about maybe a month ago. But it's a goodie. I love it. Take care, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye. Remember, you can follow me on everything. I'm on Stitcher. I'm on SoundCloud. Obviously, that's where I host the feed. I'll be changing SoundCloud to another provider soon. Also, I'm on Facebook. It's Travelman Podcast. Email travelmanpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram is travelmanpod. I'm on LinkedIn now. Well, I've always been on LinkedIn, but I updated my profile and everyone started thanking me for my new position. It's not really a new position, guys. But anyway, thank you. So, yep, don't be scared or hesitant to email me. I really like people's interaction. And send me a message on Facebook, or like my page, or like my pictures on Instagram. It's all good, and you can listen to me on all good podcasting apps, on iTunes, all that. So enjoy your week. Hopefully you're going away on a holiday just like me. And I'll speak to you very shortly. Cheerio. Bye-bye.